In this video, I will show you how you join the Wild Winds vest in the round. If you have joined pieces like this before, it'll not be any different, but if you're new to it, you might find this video useful. So this is the way the instructions intend you to look at the garment as you're knitting it. You have got the neck opening here, your shoulders, your armholes, and this is the right side of the front, and this here is the right side of the back. So they're laying as they will be intended to be joined. So as we go around and we've knitted all of these stitches and we come to cast on our underarm stitches, we can take this needle here and just put it onto this position of the back wire. So this is our left underarm, and we're going to put it on this side here because this is the first side we'll encounter. And you can take that stitch stopper and put it onto this side of the needle so that your stitches don't fall off accidentally. And then we can just knit around. If you have your stitches on waste yarn, you are also going to work this section first and then cast on your underarm stitches for the left side. And then it's intending you to look at the garment like so. So right side facing, looking top down. So this is the top, we're looking downwards. You will slip the stitches on the left needle. So now this is our left needle here. And we will slip them in this direction. So that all the stitches from your waste yarn, you're going to start at what now, looking in this direction, is the left side. You will start slipping from this side all the way up to here. So this is the last stitch here on the right underarm that we're going to slip. And then our needle is here, our underarm cast on is here, and we can begin knitting across the back yoke like this. No matter how you have positioned your stitches on the back, you will always start knitting the front yoke, obviously from like right to left. Then you cast on your left underarm stitches and you'll knit across the back yoke like so. And you cast on your right underarm stitches here. And after the last cast on stitch for the right underarm, you'll set your beginning of the round marker. So the beginning of the round starts with the front stitches. Okay, let's see what this looks like now. I have my working yarn attached to this side here. And now what we're also going to start doing is integrating these selvage stitches that we have left on the armhole edges. On the front hem and on the back hem, we'll start integrating them into the Half Fisherman's rib stitch pattern. So this means that this first stitch here, which was always my selvage stitch, will now become a knit one below, because then we'll follow with a purl and knit one below again, and so on and so forth. So I'm actually going to go into the stitch below here and knit this. And I'll continue like this until I have reached the end of the front section for me. Okay, I'm coming up to my last stitches here. So I will just purl this one, and then this was my selvage stitch on the other side of the front yoke, and again this will become a knit stitch. So I'll knit below right now because we are on the right side right now. There we go. Okay, that's the front section worked, and now I will just cast on my underarm stitches, which in my case is 9. So I use the backward loop method. So I wrap my yarn around the thumb, the index finger, then take yarn from the thumb over to the index finger and 1 on. 9. Okay, perfect. And now in order for me to continue on, I need a needle here. Now, mind you, we have finished off with a knit stitch here. So this will be a purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. So this will be again a knit stitch. So we're going to go and knit one below in the first stitch of the back yoke, which I'll have to be really careful about because this is threatening to come loose. And now I'm going to purl. And these markers here for the increases can all go now. You might have already taken them off actually. So there we go. Now we're going to knit across the back in pattern. I've knitted across the back yoke. This was just for my increases, the old marker, which I can take off now. You might have already done it. So last one is a purl, and again this was the selvage stitch, which is now becoming a knit stitch. So we're going to go in one below. Okay, and now we are at the right underarm cast on. So you will have one spare needle now and one stitch stopper, which was where your back yoke was on. So now we're going to take this needle and attach it the only place we can. And now I can cast on in my size, again, 9 stitches here. All right, so that was my last stitch that I had to cast on, which means now I'm going to start my round again where I've left off. And when I start joining these two, I'll start joining the work in the round, which means we need to place a beginning of the round marker now. And I have actually created 2 markers here because I'll show you a little trick of how you can distinguish your rounds when you're working in Half Fisherman's rib, because as you know by now, you will have one round that you work as a rib round and one that you work as a Half Fisherman's rib round. And while that was easy to see when you were working front and back, you can easily spot the back compared to the front. With the round work, it's going to be a bit more challenging, but this little trick should hopefully help you keep track. So now that we have worked a Half Fisherman's rib round, we're going to work a single rib round now. And because in a rib round you go into one knit stitch, we're going to put 1 marker on the needle. When we go around and we have finished our rib round and it's time for a Half Fisherman's rib round, we're knitting into the stitch below. So essentially we're knitting into 2 knit stitches. And at that point I'll put both of the markers on my needle, which tells me that now I need to knit into the stitch below. So if I come back to it, or if in the middle of the round I spontaneously forget where I was at, I can always look at this and then remember. All right, so here we go. So this is a knit stitch, so we're just going to knit it now and then purl this one. So hopefully this will have made it easier for you to join your work in the round now if it's the first time that you're doing it. Like I said before, if you've done this before, this is not different to the usual way of doing it. So yeah, this will just have been a bit of an extra video for you. But if you're new to it, this is how we do it. So front yoke, left underarm cast on, back yoke, and right underarm cast on. The beginning of the round is after your right underarm cast on has been finished. And then you continue with a rib round. So you turn, or you join together on a Half Fisherman's rib round. But yeah, hope this helped you. If you have more questions, you can always email in, and the pattern is available on my website and on Ravelry if you wish.